Okay, good morning, guys. So obviously we couldn't hop on call, but I figured I could still make a video for you showing you how I go about doing my pre-market analysis and finding my trade ideas. So, yeah, let's hop into that really quick, okay? So the first thing I always do is I have a watch list of 16 stocks that I trade. This is my full basket of stocks. I typically don't watch anything else. So I always keep an eye on these 16 baskets, the 16 stocks, which is Apple, AMD, Amazon, Boeing, Coin, Google, Home Depot, Meta, Microsoft, Micron Technology, Netflix, Nvidia, QQQ, SMCI, SPY, and Tesla. Those are the ones that I watch. But before that, I go into my market analysis watch list and I look over SPY and I look over QQQ first just to see what the overall market price action is. And I already have some analysis on here that you can see. This is the analysis I did this week. Pretty much it's just looking at the price action, seeing what levels I need to get rid of, what levels I need to update. So like I'm gonna get rid of this demand right here. 517 I marked as a key level. I don't know if it still is a key level. Nope, I'm not gonna mark this as a key level anymore, so I'm gonna get rid of that. And really, it's always just cleaning up and updating the charts because you're doing analysis every single day, right? So if you're doing analysis every single day, your charts are always gonna have analysis on them, and they're always gonna be marked up. So like these levels were still valid yesterday. I mean, we have this pre-market action now, so it's gonna change. But now it's just okay, what levels are valid, and based off of the action, what do I need to mark up next in order to develop a plan? So I might mark like pivot highs and pivot lows and stuff like that. So honestly, I'm just gonna delete everything and we'll just start from scratch so you can see. And all of the course and all of the recordings that I have, this is how I do my analysis. And if you don't have anything that shows you about supply and demand yet, you will, because I'm making a course for that and it's on its way. It should be here within the next week, next 2 weeks. So yeah, other than that, I'm gonna I always mark the daily high, the previous day high, and the previous day low. Just like that. And then I mark any supply and demand formations that I see. So this is a base and a drop right here. So this is a supply zone that I'm gonna mark. That's red. And then with that's a 2-hour supply. One thing I do recommend is always putting notes on your charts. That way you can easily go back and recognize what you actually did and what kind of analysis you did, just so it's not confusing for you later. You have demand right here. This is a base and a rally, so it's, consolidation rally, consolidation rally. So that marks area of demand, but who knows? That might have been invalidated already thanks to the pre-market action. Nope, not yet. So this area of demand is currently holding in the pre-market, but I deleted the other ones just to freshen up the chart. Because it's always important to have a fresh chart, or just to clean up your chart so you don't have a whole bunch of levels to confuse you when you're doing your analysis, because you want everything to make sense, and you want everything to be clear, and you want to have a full understanding of what you're actually looking at when you're going to trade. Right, so this was also a 2-hour demand. And then you see, look at all the rejections at this level, right? We have, even though I marked the high a day, but we have another rejection here. And then in the pre-market, we had another rejection. So rejection, 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 rejection. I'm going to mark this as a key level now. So that is a golden level, because I like making my gold levels key levels. And then this resistance, I mean, this support down here didn't really do much. We got that one bounce, but it doesn't amount to anything. But because it's still the yesterday's low, I'm gonna mark it just as a level that we might potentially interact with. It doesn't mean we will. Um, but definitely we're seeing action down here at this 2 hour demand. And we got a bounce right here at the pre-market low at 435. So with that being said, the pre-market low I'm going to mark as a key level because it's also a whole number and it's inside an area of demand, meaning that there's multiple confirmations and there's multiple reasons why the stock might, or the market, because this is QQQ right now. There's multiple reasons why it could potentially go up at 435, but I don't know what happened. We probably had some pre-market news or something like that. I haven't looked yet to cause this huge impulse move down at what, it's 8:55 right now. So like I mentioned before, we were in an area of balance. Now we kind of broke out of that balance. We still have supply above and we still have demand below. So the really question is now, do we keep heading down in this direction or do we find buyers down here and rally back up? But the thing is, we've been making, so it's like, this is the market context part that I'm talking about. And obviously I taught this and you should have learned it in the course. With the market context, we've been consistently now since hitting all-time high at 449.47. We've been consistently making lower highs and lower lows. Even though we've been finding buying at the bottom, we be trying to like rally up and reclaim highs. We keep closing lower and lower. We keep gapping down, showing me that sellers are active and that uptrend has changed. Let's take a look at this, right? We went from a strong, clean uptrend, and then we kind of like broke that. All right, here, I can make it cleaner. Went from like a strong, clean uptrend, and now we broke that uptrend structure, with higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and then higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high, higher high. And now we made a lower high and then a lower low. Well, this is still technically a higher low right now. Once we break down below this low right here, then I could say, okay, now we definitely have made a next lower low. And the market structure has 100% shifted into like technically starting bearish market structure. It's not gonna mean we're in a bear market, you know what I mean? But it's gonna that's the current structure of the market, and that's just how you want to have a bias on what the market might potentially do going into the next day. Just because you always want to follow the overall structure to determine how you're gonna trade and determine how you're gonna come up with different ideas. But because we broke this uptrend structure now and we're making lower highs, you have to consider that into your actual trading. So yesterday, or the day before, I saw that the structure was changing, so I put an emphasis on taking short trades or trades at resistance. Because yes, we have buyers, but we keep finding selling up at the highs and we keep selling down. We're finding buyers, but we keep selling. Look at that. No matter what, we come back up. There's always a pullback to bring us back to where we were, and the buyers again, and then look, came up to resistance. Now we're selling off again down to the more extreme lows now. So since we're at the more extreme lows, the only thing is, do we keep heading lower and we find continuation, or do we find buying again down here, because this is where we found buying again the last time? And it's just preparing for both of those scenarios and then reacting when we get one of those scenarios. Do we break down below this area of buying and then do we head down to this next pivot low down here, or do we reclaim above this level and potentially go up higher, or do we make some kind of double bottom at this area of demand and go up higher? It's just figuring out what are the potential scenarios and then just capitalizing off of them, right? That's it. But because of the fact that we broke this uptrend structure and then we're consistently rejecting the highs up here, it shows me that sellers are active. And look at that, like, again, the lower highs and lower low structures that I'm talking about. So the next thing is, are we going to make another lower low? And if we do, then I can be confident that the bear structure is going to keep heading down. You know what I mean? The bear structure is going to keep being active. And that's the analysis on QQQ. QQQ, for those of you who don't know, that's basically overall market, but it's heavily tech weighted, so it's more like tech stocks. Like, actually, I don't know off the top of my head. I have to go look it up, but that's generally what it means. I'll have a better definition for you. And then the same thing now, SB 500. It's just the top 500 stocks in the market that and it's weighted based off of just like those top 500 stocks. So it's an overall guideline on where the market is and the overall market sentiment. And the same thing I'm telling you with QQQ. The same bullish market structure with the the higher lows and then the higher highs. That structure was broken, and now we're kind of in that consolidation structure with equal highs and equal lows. So what happens now is, okay, equal highs and equal lows, but when you go down onto a smaller time frame, you actually look and you see that the structure is actually lower highs and lower lows now. So the structure is changing on the micro time frame, and it's just a matter of what do we do next and how are we gonna gauge that action to see what's gonna happen and how we're gonna capitalize, right? So obviously, again, I'm gonna mark the high, I'm gonna mark the low, and I'm gonna note any areas of clear selling and clear buying activity to mark for potential areas to trade again. And look right here, clear selling. So I'm gonna mark that as a key level resistance. Let's see if there's any supply formations. Yep, we got one up here. We had buying down here, but it looks like that was kind of invalidated this morning with that pre-market action. Let's see. Yeah, it was. Right. So, yeah, again, it's just marking areas where we're likely to have some kind of interaction, right? But because this is the overall market, you want to figure out like what it's doing, because it's gonna affect the actual stocks and the actual plays that you have as well. So honestly, there's not a whole bunch of levels right now that I can mark, so let's actually go up on a higher time frame. Let's look at the weekly chart, see if I can find anything. And not really. Sometimes when this happens, I just start marking lows. So like we have this pivot low right here, and then we have this low right here, and we have this low right here. And then it's just seeing what actually gets interacted with. So look at that, because I marked this low. Oh man, I didn't mean to move that, but I guess I don't need it. We marked that low, and this is where we found buying activity. We didn't really find any activity here, did we? No, we didn't. So I'm gonna delete this, and that's not significant to me anymore. But this one is, because we found a bounce at that level, and it's not like I expected there to be one, but just marking lows in areas where there was activity before, that means there's likely to be activity there again. And that's literally what I teach, and then it's just, again, taking advantage of that. So now I can mark this as a level that I'm looking to see the market interact with. I know 514 is a level the market's going to interact with, because it already did. We got the retest. We didn't touch it exactly, but like 30-40 cents, that's close enough. And we got the bounce at 514 yesterday. And then we had interactions with it previously in the past. So it's a level that I know has some significance. And then again, now it's just like, okay, we have this next level down here. We're at 511. Maybe 510 could be interacted with, 509, 508. And it's just gauging where is the next area. And look right here, we also had demand. I didn't even notice that before. because now we're on the 1 minute chart. So this is a base and then a rally up. You can see a strong rally. So I can mark this area as a demand right here. And then, it's just adding as many confirmations and different reasons why, or evidence of, specific kind of action being there. So, like in this case, adding more evidence that buyers will be in this area, interacting at this area once price comes back down. And you can see it's being validated by the pre-market action this morning right here. And then it's just, again, building a trade based off of that, building an idea based off of that. So I would definitely say, all right, we have buying in around this 512, 511.2 area. And what's going to happen next? Do we continue to head lower, or do we find buying and go up higher and, create a lower high? But then if we do head up higher, where do we target? Where do we choose our entry? What do we try to do, right? So I'm also going to note that this is a 1 hour demand. And the thing about demands, I always put the time frame of what kind of demand it is, or what kind of supply zone it is, just because always have more emphasis on the higher time frame analysis that you do. That analysis is always going to be stronger than the lower time frames. So, just keep that in mind. And obviously I'm going to teach that in the other courses. So you'll see. So it's a 1 hour demand. And then this was some kind of supply. I probably marked it before, or I didn't, but whatever. So that's SPY and that's QQQ. Those are marked up for now. It's not really much other levels that I can say. Maybe this pivot low right here. And now it's just seeing what happens. And sometimes, like, I might trade this and I might develop a plan. But if I can't have a plan, then just don't trade it. Like, if it's confusing or I don't know what to do, just don't trade it. Let the price action develop until it becomes clear what's going to happen next. And I've obviously go look and see if there was some kind of news or economic data that came out to affect the market the way it is right now. But I can definitely say that we have buying at 512 to 5 in this area demand, right? So say we get down below 511. If we get below 511 and we validate the sellers in some kind of way with maybe like a breakdown and retest, or some volume or whatever it may be, right? Then I can say I'm more likely now, and is more likely to see price action that's gonna be more seller biased, and I can take advantage of that. If we get down below 511, I can maybe target 510, 509, or 508.24, and say I want to take it short. Will it work? I don't know if it'll work, and that's why you manage your risk. But historically, like, just based off of this plan and those plans and making sure that I had the different confirmations, I have the evidence that supports my trades, like, just knowing that time and time again, you'll be able to be right more consistently. And yeah, so now we do know the overall market structure. We have SPY and QQQ marked up and charted, and we know that things are kind of shifting. The bears are starting to be in more control, and we're making a lower high right now. Now we just need to see it develop, right? So I always watch SPY and QQQ, and then I watch 4 stocks every day in the morning. I don't watch any more than that. I only choose I choose SPY and QQQ because I'm marking it up every day. So if I already have the analysis there for it, I might as well trade it if I do see a setup that's good enough for me. And then other than that, I'll just look for other price action and other stocks and stuff like that I do see good setups on that I might want to trade, just to give myself options for the day. So this is Apple, right? I just go down the list until I see about something. And if I don't see something, maybe I'll just stick to SPY and QQQ. But Apple, we've been consistently bouncing at this 168 key level and area of demand. and now it's just to look at the intraday price action. So I noted a resistance earlier in the week at 170.4, and look at where we rejected this morning, 170.4, right? So, and yesterday's low down here was around 168.36. So I'm gonna mark that too. Because look at that, we keep consistently having buying within that kind of range, right? So maybe I'll put that resistance line down here. So that shows me that 168 is a key level. We're in an area of demand, and we have 168.26 as the lows for the last couple of days, right? So those are three different reasons showing me that there's gonna potentially be buyers in that area. So I can build a trade off of that. I can say if price comes down to 168.26, 168, and we validate and there's evidence again that buyers are going to step in, I can take a trade idea. I can go buy calls in that area and see that, okay, maybe I could take a long and maybe I could target the highs. And then look right here, this is a 15-minute demand for, damn, I just deleted that whole thing. But this is a 15-minute demand formation, and I can put that as well as another confirmation. It's a 15-minute demand formation, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why sellers down here will be overcome by buyers. So now it's just looking at the price action and seeing if buyers are actually stepping in. Like, are we wicking? Are we getting higher volume? Is volume changing? Like, are we seeing price action with like different hammer candles and bullish signals? What are we seeing? And that's how you actually like go about and take the trade. But once you have these key levels in these areas, all you're doing is building plans around them and then seeing if price action is going to come to that level and actually interact with it and move according to your plans or move against your plans, and then just taking advantage of what you see, and that's it. So like I can easily develop a plan around this right here because there's been so much times where we acted at this level and found a rally. So I can make a plan again and add that to my watch list and say, okay, I want to trade Apple today at these areas, these levels. These are the levels I have on watch, and this is the plan. This is where I'm targeting this, and that. So I might target, say if I went long, I might target like 169, just because that's where we found selling again before we started heading lower. So I might target 169, or I might target this pivot high up here. But I always try to be conservative and try to, overestimate where where the other side is gonna be, because I don't want to try to get caught lacking in the trade and just end up wrong. So I always mark multiple areas where sellers and buyers, or different obstacles that would stop me from profiting will be in the trade. And like you can see right here, we're in this area of demand, and we're getting those candles that show buying is stepping in. So that's just figuring out what you take advantage of, and that's it. And then just scrolling through, looking at the price action, doing the same thing that I showed you with SPY and QQQ, where you're doing that with everything and seeing which one do I want to try to take advantage of. And if I don't really see anything that I like that much, then I just don't touch it. I just let the price action do its thing, and I come back another day. So like we have this low right here, 182. I looked at the pre-market, and we interacted with these levels that I had drawn previously. So that's how like I'm drawing good levels, and these are good areas of support and resistance, or areas of supply and demand, because price action keeps coming back and respecting those areas. That's the kind of stuff you want to see when you're drawing support and resistance. I don't really feel like trading Amazon. Kind of moving sideways, but now with this pre-market action, things are bearish. We have a support at 182, but just because we have such a strong move down, I don't know if we're going to keep heading down. Okay, Boeing is in a downtrend. We keep heading lower. 176.25 is a key area of support. So I can easily say, all right, get down below that, we can target the next area, right? And look at that. So this might be a good trade right here, because we're at 176. Maybe I could say, all right, I want to target 173 because that's the last area where there's evidence of buying being. Where I can go on the weekly chart, I can see where else to be fine buying. Somewhere around 168. So maybe I could put a line here, and then like, yes, you're guessing, right? You're guessing at first, and you're not really gonna know what you're doing. And sometimes I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. And the fact of the matter is, all you have to do is just wait for the price action to validate and show you whether you're right or not. You don't need to be in a trade and let that happen. And then if you don't have targets, sometimes I might just say, oh, well, I'll just look at it for every dollar. So 176, now you hit 175. And then, like while I'm in the trade, I'll just look and see, am I seeing any action or any reason telling me that this trade is no longer in my favor or that I should take profit? And, just making those decisions as I'm in the trade watching it. That way I can capitalize as much as I can. But I'll definitely take this and say that if we get below 176 and we validate, then I can definitely take that short, because this is a key level and Boeing has been in a downtrend. Look at that. That's a clear downtrend, right? Clearly heading lower. But this is a key level where we bounced multiple times. So with that being said, do I want to say I want to actually try to take this long? I want to go long up here. Or do I want to follow the overall structure and try to head lower? You can have both in your plan. It's just seeing what the market's gonna do, right? And that way you're keeping yourself flexible. So like, I'll mark the pre-market high. We have supply up here. And 15-minute, like, do we have anything? We have yesterday's low right here. And that's a level 2 that I might see if we interact with. So like, if we're down here at 176, do we get below 176, or do we try reclaim above 176.7? And do we find sellers there? And do I take a short here to target this and target this and target this? Or do we come above this and do we find buying and maybe I could target the highs? It's just developing your plans and seeing what's going to work. And just refining how you develop your plans over and over and over. And that's it. Like, so let's put that on the watch list, and I'll just say those are the plays I have for today. Those are what I'm gonna watch, and that's about it. Yeah. Have any questions? Just let me know in the school. Just make a comment. I'll put a post under the video, and yeah. Other than that, just keep on studying and just keep improving, man. You got this. All of you.